word of warning. As the great wit Aristophanes once wrote, roughly translated, youth ages, immaturity is outgrown, ignorance can be educated, and drunkenness sobered, but stupid lasts forever.
Welcome back to another movie review. Today I am reviewing the movie The Emperor's Club. That is correct. If you can see that, it's a bit fuzzed out, but there we go. The Emperor's Club. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. It is in the bottom right corner, the little flag there that says subscribe now. You can click on that and subscribe. Also, don't forget to comment at the end of the video. And also don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. So let's get on with this movie review. So it starts out with William Hunter, who is the teacher of who works at a boarding school for boys called St. Benedict's in the 1970s, where he is a passionate classics teacher who attempts to impart wisdom and the sense of honor to his students. He begins the school year by having a new student named Martin Blythe read a plaque that hangs over his door. Now, the thing with Martin Blythe is that his father went to the same school as him. And, well, there's a lot to tell about him. Now, the plaque over the door contains a statement made by an ancient Mesopotamian ruler named Cedric Bell. Now, the plaque says Cedric Bell's, the plaque sings Cedric Bell's praises about his country. But Hunter explains that he contributed nothing of value to his kingdom in the end result, because there's not much you really find about Cedric Bell, as I have a hard time pronouncing. And so, as a result of him not being really known, it's virtually forgotten in today's world. It just doesn't exist because we don't know really much about him. So, Hunter's disciplined life and classroom are shaken when a new student named Cedric Bell is enrolled late in the class. Now, Cedric possesses none of Hunter's principles and is the son of a U.S. senator. Now, when he has none of the principles that Hunter's looking for, he frequently disrupts the class and does poorly in his homework. Hunter meets with Cedric's father to talk about his behavior, only to discover that the senator is, well, he just doesn't really care about Cedric beyond knowing that he is passing classes so that he can actually do well in school. Now, as it goes with this, Cedric likes to joke around. He likes to pull pranks. He likes to not really follow the rules that are going on in school. As most people would know, that when you're at a boarding school, if you've ever been to one, as I have, you got certain rules that you got to follow. And if you don't follow them, there could be consequences. You get in trouble for it. So when it comes to Cedric, he really didn't really care about school, because in the end result, when you have a parent who doesn't really care about you, who just wants you to pass your classes and that's it, nothing else, nothing more, doesn't take an interest in your life, you kind of like to joke around to be the class clown. So, as it goes, Hunter decides to help Cedric the best that he can. They develop a friendship and Cedric's grades improve because, of course, Hunter gives him a little more credit when it comes to his work. So, the traditional end of the year Mr. Julius Caesar contest, in which the top 3 students compete in a classic quiz in front of the entire school, is approaching. Now, Cedric works as hard as he can to try to earn a spot. Now, as it goes, he ends up in the 4th place. But here's the thing. Hunter doesn't want Cedric's efforts to go out the window. So what he does is he helps Cedric, and he raises one of his marks so that he can qualify to be in this Julius Caesar contest. Now, because of that, Martin Blythe, who was in 3rd place, is kicked out. Now, the factor why Martin wants to be in this competition so much is because his father was in the competition and won the Julius Caesar, literally. And so he wants to be like he wants to be a legend too, like his father who is there. So as it goes, Martin gets kicked out and he is disappointed. He is not able to get in it, even though he worked his butt off for it. Okay, so during the competition, Hunter spies Cedric using crib notes, where he is putting notes in his sleeve, like it's like they're wearing a robe, so he kind of hides it in his like robe, where he is able to kind of like go through what the questions might be, and then he'll look at it, and then he'll take his time, and then he'll finally answer it, or he'll just cover and he'll look through and then answer. So as it goes, Hunter finds out about this and goes to the headmaster, and the headmaster orders him to ignore it because as it goes, Cedric's father probably puts a lot of money into the school to get him to to pay for his education and everything else. And when you got someone high there in the position of United States and paying good money to your school, I mean, you really want to, some of the teachers or some of the principals, like the headmaster, will kind of say, you know what, ignore it. Okay. So now what happens is to trip up Cedric Bell, because there are actually 3 contestants. Deepak Med, and then you got Cedric. And the 3rd contestant is Louis Masudi. So as it goes, during the competition, Louis Masudi is kicked out of the competition first because he can't answer a question, which he is wrong. But, he tries his best to win the competition, and he just doesn't. So it comes down to Cedric Bell and Deepak Med. Now, they're going head to head, and they are winning that, and they are doing well. But here's the thing: Mr. Hunter gives Cedric a question on Hamilcar Barca, which is not covered in class. It is an answer correctly by another contestant, Deepak Mehta, having been seen early by Hunter reading a book on the military science on his own initiative. Now, for this, he did it because, of course, knowing that Cedric Bell has been cheating, he won't have that actual answer anywhere on his crib sheet that's on his sleeve. So, as it goes, Deepak is crowned Julius Caesar, and the cheating is never publicized, but the trust Cedric and Hunter had in each other is broken. It's destroyed. It's gone because he destroyed that. Now, Cedric returns to his old ways and barely graduates in school, with Hunter expressing deep disappointment that he failed Cedric. But really, he didn't fail Cedric. Cedric failed him because he wanted to cheat and just make it through school as simple as possible. Now, we fast forward 25 years later. Hunter is poised to become the new headmaster, where he's going to be, but resigns in shock when a less experienced teacher gets the position due to the fundraising ability. So what happens is they wanted to find out who would be the best new headmaster. So It's Mr. Hunter and this other gentleman. And so since this other gentleman is younger and probably has more ideas than Hunter, they gave it to him. So as it goes, Hunter is later told that an adult Cedric, okay, as he's older, will make a tremendous donation to St. Benedict's. And he's all happy and everything. So contingent upon, now for this to happen, it's the contingent upon Hunter hosting a Mr. Julius Caesar rematch between the three people. So as it goes, the rematch would be at Cedric's resort hotel on the Gold Coast. Now the adult members of Cedric's graduating class are invited to all join there for the reunion. That would be like a 25-year reunion, I'm guessing. Now, the original three contestants begin the competition, but as it progresses, Hunter realizes something again. He realizes that Cedric is being fed answers by an associate through an earpiece. Well, lo and behold, Cedric likes to cheat again. Even though he is an adult and he's older and everything, he likes to cheat. So, Hunter asks a question that he knows that no one would really get except for Deepak Mehta. So he asks about Sutruk Nahunte, which all the students find laughably easy, which, however, Cedric is not able to answer it, and neither is Louis Masudi, because of the factor that Sutruk Nahunte, there is not much information about him except for that plaque, because he more or less run his country, civilization, his population into the ground. And so as it goes, again, Deepak answers correctly and once again wins, which he won 25 years ago as he rightfully won, and 25 years ahead, he wins again. Now, afterwards, Cedric formally announces that he is running for a seat in the U.S. Senate, just like his father did. Okay, but while the men applaud, all his classmates, Hunter is appalled that he was used for political ground standing, that he was used just so that he can receive his U.S. Senator position. Now, shortly after the announcement, Hunter and Cedric run into each other in the men's washroom, where Hunter confronts Cedric, and Cedric tells Hunter that the real world is full of dishonesty, and that Hunter had let life pass him by. Now, the tirade is overheard by one of Cedric's younger sons, okay? So this whole big debacle, this whole big fight, who is shocked to learn the truth about his father, that back then he was a cheater, and to this day he still is a cheater. That evening at the hotel bar, Hunter apologized to Martin and admits that he gave his spot to Cedric in the competition years ago. And you know, like, knowing that 25 years later, it can be a pain in the butt, but Martin forgives him. But his body language makes his feelings towards Hunter not the best, let's put it this way, because he's kind of like pissed off that he could have been part of the Julius Caesar and he gave it to someone else who doesn't deserve it. So the following morning, the resort is apparently empty. There's no one there. However, Hunter is then greeted by a surprise party held in his honor by his former students, who present an award engraved with a quote about education. Now, as it goes, it's getting to the closing, and the men wave goodbye as the helicopter carries Hunter away back to wherever he came from. And from there, he is able to reflect that while he failed with Cedric, he succeeded with others. And that's important to know, because, you know, it's important to know that even though you might fail one student, or you feel that you failed one student, you might help other students all over in your time of being a teacher. So, Hunter returns to his old teaching job, teaching classics in the present day at St. Benedict's, which is now a co-ed school and more diverse because there are now male and female students. Now one student comes to class late, the son of Martin Blythe, who brought his son over there, as in he's the third generation to go to St. Benedict's. Now, as it goes, Hunter sees Martin Blythe walking away outside the window, gladly waving to his old teacher. But as it goes, Hunter has a younger Blythe read the plaque above the door again, just like his father did, because he thought that would be a cool and interesting thing to do. And that's what he does. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this movie review. Now remember, while the coronavirus is going rampage across the world and everywhere else, keep safe as much as possible. Use hand sanitizer, wash your hands with soap as much as possible, and don't touch your eyes, your nose, your mouth. Just don't touch your face at all, because you don't want to cause any problems and get the coronavirus. And most importantly, remember to stay safe and mostly stay indoors unless you truly have to go out.